So here's some considerations for staffing. If you're thinking about setting up a team and you're looking to hire some people, or whether or not to hire people is what you're looking at. So generally speaking, we've broken this down into three categories. We have the incident handlers, right? These are the folks who actually get the hands on the tools. They're the computer security incident responders. Those type of folks is what you're looking for. That is a specific skill set. Generally, people with an IT background don't necessarily have these skills. IT professionals, that's kind of really broad actually, but we're talking about the support staff, the system admins, the network admins. Those are the folks that we're looking at there. And right, some of the tools that they use, they also monitor logs, perhaps for different reasons, right? And they do network troubleshooting, et cetera. And then you have your investigators. And usually these folks are either in the legal area or even human resources if you're talking about insider threat. Those folks will be a part of the investigative team. And they typically deal with the actual allegations of either misconduct or some sort of criminal activities. So for the team itself, you're actually looking at mostly the incident handlers for a particular team. Okay. So staffing considerations due to cost. As you can see there, the big number, $92,000, that's on average. Got that number from Indeed.com, and that is an average, right, for a forensic specialist. You've seen the Engineer 1, Engineer 2, Engineer 3, Engineer 4, so that might be a digital forensic examiner 2.5-ish. Might be where that is. So if you get somebody brand new that has some of the education and some training, maybe even a cert, you're looking at the lower end of the scale. And of course, you have people that do the data carving and they actually go in and pull, break apart platters of hard drives. Those folks are going to be a little bit more than that. So here's the other piece of staffing or deciding to whether or not to have your team is, would an in-house forensics team be more cost-effective than a third-party forensics team? And this is all based on like the frequency and the actual type of services that you'll be needing, right? So if you have an incident quite often and you have to send many of your regular, if you will, IT folks off to try to investigate these things, maybe it would be cost-effective to have your own in-house team developed. And if you're talking about possibly chasing down information of, checking a browser history or a proxy history versus actually breaking down platters of a hard drive or going after things that have been semi-erased. That's also an area where you might want to consider that is, might be better to have the in-house forensics team. Then you can have more skill sets built for this particular thing. So going along with the equipment and the software that you'll have, the training will be a pretty big key as well, because not only do you have to train them up at the very beginning, but there's always the cost of recurring training, right? Because there's always going to be updates, there's always going to be new things that are going to be coming down the pipe. So these are all cost ideas to consider if you're going to be looking at developing an in-house team or in general a forensics capability within your own organization, and ideas to think about if you're thinking whether or not you just want to work with the phone number or do you want to have maybe one or two people versus a full-fledged team. Okay. Another consideration for staffing is sensitive data. So certain industries have regulations or requirements that require you to take care of certain data a certain way. Right, the healthcare industry has the